All right, and good morning and welcome in here to a Top 5 Tuesday edition of the Vegas Square Morning Show. I'm your host, Aaron Crouch, and we are live here from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And then once again, we are presented by 12 Ounce Sports. You guys see them right there. We are live on 12 Ounce Sports. You can catch us each and every weekday at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, we are on Dingo TV channel number 217. Guys, welcome in once again. Glad you could make it. If you're catching the replay, glad you could catch the replay. We got a lot to talk about. We had two Monday night games last night. The Bills and the Jags, of course, going at it. And the Bills come away very victorious. And then, of course, a fun one. The Commanders defeating the Bengals 38-33 with Cincinnati dropping to 0-3 on the season. We'll talk about that with the producer and, of course, our top 5 NCAA and NFL teams today. But first, I want to get started with my early thoughts. Comes from that Monday night game, but they always say the better stories in the losing locker room. So I'm going to go to that losing locker room in Jacksonville there. And I think I have to wonder, is it time to talk about Trevor Lawrence and the B word? And that B word is bust. I can't believe I'm saying this because I was really sure that he would translate to the NFL and be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And I mean, he sure is paid like it. Just signed that $55 million a year deal in the offseason. So he's definitely paid like it, but is he living up to the hype? I mean, we give so much flack to Tua. We give so much flack to Deshaun Watson and, guys like that. Other guys off the top of my head, Jalen Hurts, Lamar just got paid. Joe Burrow just got paid. Joe Burrow, we might have to have a talk about Joe Burrow too. So I'm gonna let him be on the back burner for a little bit because he made a Super Bowl. But is it time to talk about Trevor Lawrence? He's going to get his coach fired. We can kind of figure that out. That entire team's going to get Doug Peterson fired, and right now, it looks like despite a miraculous comeback in a playoff game, Doug Peterson did no better of a job, in my opinion, than Urban Meyer. That may be a hot take. That may not be. I don't know yet. We'll have to find out. But I crowned him. I crowned Trevor Lawrence great at Clemson. I mean, all of his success was early. He won a national title, I believe, his freshman year. And everything was just, he's going to be great. He's going to be great. He's going to be great. And I feel like we're still kind of waiting on it. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for the guy. I rooted for him in that playoff game. It was such an intense playoff game to watch. And, for his luck, it was Brandon Staley and the Chargers. So luckily he was able to come back in that game because of the ineptitude of that regime in in LA at the time. But Trevor Lawrence just hasn't done it. He just hasn't done it. I mean, I understand it's Jacksonville. They're not traditionally a perennial powerhouse team. So anything they do provide of success. But I mean, Blake Bortles has gone farther than Trevor Lawrence has in terms of playoff success with maybe you could argue a worse team at the time. I don't know. And maybe could have gone to a Super Bowl. I know that there's a discrepancy in that game against New England with the fumble and blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could go back down a tangent with that, but Blake Bortles has done more positively and successfully in the NFL than Trevor Lawrence has. And Blake Bortles hasn't been paid like Trevor Lawrence. With Trevor Lawrence, does he need to go somewhere else? Does he need to, go to Miami, maybe get with Mike McDaniel? Like, does he need like we talked about Bryce Young and how the organization has failed him, but we haven't talked about how maybe the organization has failed Trevor Lawrence. He was drafted into an Urban Meyer regime. We know that's a disaster. I stand by that it was a disaster. There's nothing we can do about it. It's gone. It's over with. They moved on. They got Doug Peterson, who has a Super Bowl under his belt. And you could argue it didn't get much better. I mean, to be fair, they did start 8-3 last year, and they haven't won a game since. So I really feel like Trevor Lawrence has got to figure it out. He's a level-headed kid. We don't get on his case because he doesn't have social media. He doesn't say stupid things on social media. He doesn't have any off-the-field problems. He seems like a model citizen off the field. Big golf fan, too, by the way. Had a lot of golf tournaments in the Southeast. So maybe we just kind of give him a pass for things because he's a nice kid. But that's not going to cut it necessarily in the NFL for a long time. Nice kid, good attitude, hard worker. Eventually results have to be produced. And, it looks like with that loss to the Bills, this is shaping up to be a lost season, possibly a lost coach and coordinator, and another new regime in Trevor Lawrence's 4 years in the NFL, three coaches, multiple coordinators, not really any success. Uh, Turnover machine, 21 fumbles in 52 career games. I don't know what to do with Trevor Lawrence right now. Do I give him some more time? I mean, how much time do we keep giving Trevor Lawrence until we start to wonder either he has to move on from the Jaguars, which is almost impossible now because of the contract, or the Jaguars have to move on from him, which I don't know. They're going to have to eat a lot of money to do so. So I don't know. That's my theory on Trevor Lawrence right now. I still have a wait and see, but it's getting late early, as Yogi Berra likes to say, with the Trevor Lawrence, potential, I guess you could say.